Power Slap 8 is 1 week away, and here are my predictions for the full card starting from the prelims. The first fight is Logan Greenhawk versus Cooper Housley. Now, I'm gonna get this first few fights off quickly. House has a great chin from what I've seen. Yeah, he has a lot of power. In his last fight, I think he got a knockout win. Greenhawk, he has been dropped before, to my knowledge. I don't know much about these two guys. Don't really pay attention to them, but I think Housley is gonna get a round 2 KO. Next of all, we have Brandon Bordeaux versus Brandon Rhodes. Now, Brandon Rhodes is gonna make his official debut in this fight. Don't know anything about him, but Bordeaux is a pretty good, decent slap fighter. You know, he's a mid-tier guy. I don't think he's gonna become a champion ever. I don't think he's a championship material, but he definitely can hang around in the top 5 around the area. I think he's gonna beat Brandon Rhodes. I'm gonna say a unanimous decision. Bordeaux doesn't have any KOs or TKOs. He has only decision wins, and his last one was a draw. And maybe not the best look, but so far he doesn't have any losses. He has looked promising, and I'm gonna pick him by a unanimous decision win. But I think this is gonna be a good fight to learn from for Brandon Rhodes, because it's not I don't think he will put him to sleep. I think he might drop him, but Brandon Rhodes, I think he can learn from this fight, because it's not the most dangerous fight for him. And if he wins, he's gonna be top 5, which is very good for him. Moving on, the final prelim. Jules Scott versus Zach Zane. Now this fight is gonna be a lot more interesting. You have number 1 versus number 7. Crazy difference. I was pretty surprised when they made this match. I think Kid Diamond is like 1 win away from getting a title shot, so very interesting fight, I would say. I know Zach has a lot of fouls. He's 2-1. I think he hasn't looked really very good. You know, he has had a lot of steppings, and he might have some power, but I know Jules has been put out once in the past, and that was by Robert Trujillo, who's a very hard hitter. I don't think we're gonna see a knockout win for Saxon, and I don't think Jewel wins by a knockout either. I think this is gonna be a decision victory for Kid Diamond. He has really crafted on his, slap fight style since the beginning. He's a lot more technical. He makes less violations. He's a lot better than he used to be, and I think he can get to a decision victory, as Saxon is probably gonna make a lot of mistakes, steppings, and things like that. And Zach has a very good chin. You know, he has that Hawaii background, which usually grants you a good chin. And I think it's gonna be a decision victory for Kid Diamond. Moving on, I was surprised to see that this is gonna be the opener, but this is gonna be the super heavyweight debut for Dwayne Crespo, who's gonna move up a division. Interesting to see. We're gonna also have the Hawaiian Hitman. I think this is gonna be a pretty good fight, because Hawaiian Hitman, he does have some power. I think he's a little bit overrated. He's 2-1. He just lost his first fight, and I think it showed. You know, he made a lot of stepping violations, and he lost by a DQ. So uh, he lost to the rules. Basically, he has a great chin, he has a good power, but if you can't, do things cleanly, then you ain't winning. So he needs to work on that. And we know Iron Giant is pretty good. He's crafty. He has some good technique, and usually he's pretty clean to my knowledge. And he has some power, but how is that power gonna translate to super heavyweight is the question that I am having, especially against Hawaiian Hitman, who's one of the most durable guys. I won't be surprised if this could be a DQ victory, as Hawaiian Hitman, he has a very big stepping. He has some big stepping problems, and Crespo has been KO'd 2 times or something like that before, and I won't be surprised if he goes down again. And I think this could be a DQ victory for Crespo, or it could be a knockout win for the Hawaiian Hitman. It depends on if he pivots or not. But I think Dwayne Crespo will go down, and I don't think he will knock down the Hawaiian Hitman. Moving on, we have a middleweight fight between Wesley Drain and Isaiah Quinones. I like these two guys. I think they're pretty good. Isaiah Quinones has been doing it for a long time, and he started in these Russian tournaments, and then he moved to Power Slap, and his chin got a little exposed. He has been knocked down a couple of times, but also he has showed a lot of durability, and good recovery. I must say he has a very good recovery, and he's been screwed over a few times. For example, against Nikolai Sokochi, and even against Kaino, I was not happy with that final decision. And Wesley Drain has a lot of power, and this is something that worries me in this fight, because Quinones, I think he can. The dude survived like 3 rounds with Kaino, so I think he definitely can go a decision with Wesley Drain. But Wesley Drain, he does have this fast whip, kind of like a slap, where it's kind of like, his last 2 knockouts have been pretty brutal against Amir Noriden and that guy. Who was that guy? Travis Aragon. Yeah, that was a brutal knockout. And Drain doesn't step anymore. He used to step a lot, but now he has really worked on his craft and doesn't really step. So that problem's out of the way. I think we're not gonna see a lot of fouls in this one, but I think we could see some knockdowns from Wesley Drain, and I think that could lead to a decisive victory with Wesley Drain. I think Quinones has a solid chin, but Wesley Drain has a lot of power. And I know Quinones has a lot of power. He just proved it against the Joker. But is it enough against Wesley Drain? Like, Wesley Drain, I think, has gone up against a lot more powerful guys than Isaiah. And it's gonna be difficult to deal with the power of Drain. So I'm gonna say decision. I don't think Quinones is gonna get a knockdown on Drain. Next off, we have the light heavyweight fight. This is probably #1 contender fight again. And I hope Vernon Gaethje is gonna destroy this fat man. I hate this guy with passion, and not a fan of the last fight. He beat Wolverine, yeah. He missed weight for like 15 pounds. It was his fault he didn't get the championship. If I was Dana right now, I wouldn't let him close to that championship. I would translate him back to heavyweight. But it is what it is. I'm gonna pick Turp in. you know, I hope KT wins. I like KT. Seems like a solid guy. And Vern, I mean, it, we can't count him out. He has a lot of power. He has a lot more power than Wolverine. And Wolverine rocked Turpin multiple times, in the past. And if Cathy lands one clean, it could be a shock. It could be an upset. Now, Vernon doesn't have very good past with his chin, but also he has gone up against very powerful guys. But I still think Turpin has too much power for him. I think because Turpin goes first, I don't see Katie eating it and getting up, sadly. I hope he proves me wrong. I honestly hope. But I'm gonna pick Turpin. And yeah, Turpin has a good chin, Kaji has a lot of power. He has very dangerous amount of power, but against Turpin, this guy who has freaking no neck, I don't see it happening, sadly. To be honest, I see Vernon wobbling. Turpin. I think he could even get a little knockdown, but I think Turpin is just gonna get up. But yeah, that's my final lock. I'm gonna lock in Turpin by first round knockout. Next on, we have number 9, Kamil Marozars versus Vasily Kamatsky. Well, who's finally had power slap. I think Vasily Kamatsky is one of the most overrated slap fighters of all time. Yeah, 100%. At least top 3. This guy in the slap demon. I mean, I hope Kamil exposes this guy. Dude, like, who has he beat? Like, actually, who? Name me 5 6 and I gave you a guy 3 wins. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only one that comes to my mind is Mad Max Lesniak, the guy who's the champion right now at the Slap Fighting Championship. Not Slap Fight Championship, Slap Fighting Championship, the place where you're allowed to step. That guy just lost to No guy. He has a loss to David Sales. That guy lost to No guy. It's was it? And then who else? Some fat big guys, and then some little kids. Like, dude, this guy is overrated as fuck. Yeah, I mean, I hope Polar Bear absolutely demolishes the hype of Vasily. I really, really hope that, and that Vasily is gonna be fraud checked in the power slap, because I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to easily build up Vasily, to a title shot without difficult opponents. Kamil is 0-2. He has been knocked down 3 times by the crazy Hawaiian. No, 2 times or 3. 3, I think. But he hasn't looked the best. And then they're just trying to easily get Kamotsky by a fluke KO to a title shot or something. Like, I hope Polar Bear wins this, but Vasily's going first. Even though Kamil has great recovery, I'm gonna say second round TKO win for Vasily Kamatsky. Moving on to the co-main event. We have a welterweight title on the line. Emmanuel Muniz, first time defense, trying to go up against Anthony Blackburn. That's a fight that I'm pretty excited for. You have Emmanuel Muniz and Anthony Blackburn. Both of their last wins are against KO Chris. And I'm gonna say, Blackburn's is a lot better. Even though Muniz, it was a pretty good fight. One of the fight of the year contenders. Blackburn just made it a lot more easy, and I think this is what he's gonna do in this one as well. I think he's gonna make Muniz look easy. The more we get closer to the fight, the more I think Babyface has a better chance of defeating him, and I think it will be a huge underdog win. I think he's gonna knock out Emmanuel Muniz. I mean, Muniz got dropped by KO Chris. Blackburn didn't. That's one thing. I think Muniz, he doesn't have a bad chin, but he has much worse chin than Blackburn. Blackburn, he's clean, he's solid, he has so much power. He just has everything you want for a welterweight champion, and he just made Chris look so much easier. And Muniz has some stepping faults in the past. He's not that clean of a fighter, actually. Um, and I think even if it doesn't go down by a KO, it goes down by a decision for Blackburn. The only thing Muniz has, I think, more, he has more experience, he has more rounds in than Blackburn, but I think Anthony would still get a decision, even if he doesn't knock out Muniz. And yeah, I think he will become a champion after that. And finally, we have the main event, another slap fight championship fighter, former main eventing, of course. We have the crazy Hawaiian versus the Pitbull. Now, first of all, this South African, he doesn't deserve this. I mean, he just lost to the Big Mac, but I don't know what happened. Maybe he got injured, maybe I don't know. But he ain't the number one contender, but still, he has a solid chance. The crazy Hawaiian, I mean, he has been slept before against, I mean, by Sales. That's not a good look now. That is not a good look now. After that guy got won, I mean, no guy won against him. That's not the greatest look, but still. Anyway, I think this is gonna be a battle of the chins. Whose chin is gonna be tougher? Because both of these guys are absolutely tough. They have decent amount of power, not the most amount of power, but still decent amount of power. I think this 100% is gonna go to decision. Like, when you have two very hard chins, you usually don't get knockdowns. I mean, yeah, it's not something that usually happens. And even though Koa's loss to Sales doesn't age well, I'm still gonna pick him. I mean, yeah, he's 15-1 or 16-1, something like that. He has a lot of wins over, random guys, but, now he's trying to actually fight some decent guys. But I definitely think the Crazy Hawaiian is a little bit overrated. He doesn't have much big wins. He has his biggest win from Slapfight Championship is Highlander, which is not the greatest. And then he has some regional fights, regional nobodies. And then at Power Slap, I mean, he knocked out an one-on-one guy. and Polar Bear and Uncomisati are not the best wins. You know what? Yeah. This might be the toughest test of the Crazy Hawaiian now that I'm looking back. He hasn't really faced someone brilliantly good. Yeah, he has definitely he doesn't have a top 5 caliber win. I just realized it. But if he gets one, that's gonna be one, and I think he will beat anyone on Herden. I think he has enough in his package to get a decision victory, because I don't think he's gonna knock out anyone Herden. But let's see. I mean, if he does, that's gonna be a pretty hype moment. But Danny Van Herden doesn't have a lot of power, so I don't think he will do the same. But these were my predictions for the upcoming Power Slap 8 card. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna be it's a decent Power Slap card. It's nothing crazy, but it's also not like a bad card. I'm gonna watch it, so we're gonna see maybe some new champions. Let's see what happens, and hopefully Turp Daddy gets absolutely knocked the hell out.